Sergio, I wish I could have the blind acceptance that you have.
Yeah. It's a much better life.
It's ridiculous. He was just 50. He had the kid at 50.
Yeah, exactly.
His like wife's all young and hot, and he was just like, oh, she likes older men.
Right, yeah, exactly.
He came out of the army.
How is this so hard to believe?
He's like, I've been drafted in the army. Like, they drafted a 50-year-old?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Welcome back to the second Annual Wacademy Awards. Featuring your hosts, Sergio Lopez and Joshua Lawyer.
Hey.
It's a star-studded event.
Global warming.
Yeah. Stop drinking the cow's milk, guys.
Yeah. We all eating tofu today.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, yeah, it's our second annual movie award. Or, I don't know, call it movie award episode.
Yeah.
Because we are, well, one of us is a very avid movie watcher.
And the other one is Sergio.
Exactly. Tried to be a little better this year, but I noticed that there was probably a lot of gaps in my movie watching I probably could have been a little better about, but oh well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I didn't even watch that many movies this year.
Oh, really?
But I thought there was really good movies this year. Like the movies that I watched were really good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not saying that I missed out. I mean, there's a couple of movies I still have on my list to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I don't want to talk about it because we might talk about it on this award show. The good thing is on this award show, you don't have to hear a celebrity explain to us how we should think.
You never know. We might have some special guests.
That's true. Barrel, hop on that mic. But yeah, that was good year, I think, for movies in general. Like a good, solid year of movies.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, at least the ones that stood out were really good. Yeah. Compared to, I think a lot of last year, there was a lot of like, I guess that's good. There was anything that really stood out as far as like, that's a clear winner. Yeah.
I think last year, almost every category was Hereditary for me. It was like Hereditary.
Yeah.
Hereditary. Yeah. This year is more, it's more like, what the fuck's the word?
Yeah, like evened out? Or,
yeah. I don't know. I was going to like parceled out or some shit like
that.
But I couldn't.
Spread out?
Yeah.
There we go.
Distributed evenly. That's what I was trying to say. There we go. We figured it out.
Science talk.
Hell yeah. But yeah, should we get into it? Because we got some categories to get through.
All right. Let me see. Okay. So, well, I don't know. This is what I got on my list for first thing after that as best documentary.
Yeah, that's what I have too.
All right.
So I didn't watch too many documentaries.
Neither did I. I pretty much. Okay, you go ahead. But
I only have one I could think of that I actually watched fully. There was like two that I peeked in on. More like I don't know how to explain. Like I watched I think half of one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the like multi-episode ones, like
like
the R. Kelly and Michael Jackson ones, I watched parts of, and I was like, I don't want to watch this shit.
Yeah.
But Don't Fuck with Cats, that's my winner.
Oh, nice. I did not watch that, but yeah, pretty much mine that wins by default because I think it was the only documentary I watched. Which was Leaving Neverland.
With the Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think it was like particularly enjoyable, but it just like had to fill this slot here. So
I know it just makes you hate a person more or something like that.
Right. Like here's the good reason you should hate this guy.
Yeah. In a way, it's a horrible movie because it makes you hate Thriller.
Yeah.
So it's like. Like, how dare I mean, what's it called? Blake Newbert already hates Thriller, so.
Right.
But for the rest of us who love Beat It
Right.
and that kind of shit, it's like, but yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, don't fuck with cats. What'd you think of that?
I don't know. It was cool. It was good. I kind of hate. I'm starting to hate documentaries more and more. I think.
Oh really?
I think what happened was Michael Moore kind of changed the direction, like the purpose for what documentaries are supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
The documentaries I usually like watching are ones that kind of give you insight into like a subculture that you would probably never be a part of in like this real honest way. I watched the show Cheers, or like the cheerleading thing. I guess that's kind of like that.
Oh, I forgot what it was called, but yeah.
I think it was Cheer.
Was it? Oh, I think it was Cheer. Yeah.
That's kind of like that. I mean, that wasn't that good. I mean, I don't know. That was kind of good because it shows you, it like puts you into that like mind state of like a kid that age. You're like, oh God.
Yeah.
Things are so important that aren't important. And you take, it's like so serious about like the silliest things. Maybe Cheer would have been my favorite documentary of last year. I don't know, whatever.
Well, you can't split awards now.
Yeah. I'll keep it. That was the first one that came to mind, was the Cats one, because it was like an interesting story.
Right.
I think a lot of documentaries nowadays are like, this is how you should think on this thing, and they have like a biased opinion, and they're not even like hiding it. I think they're just like, this is my opinion and here's my proof. And you're like, I don't know. I could just watch one that counters that. And then I think that person's thoughts now.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I'm not going to be told what to think by a documentary. Sorry.
Yeah. They're almost becoming kind of like what talk radio became.
Yeah. And podcasts, I feel like, are a bit like that too.
Right.
They tell you how to think.
But yeah, I think 2019 was probably a pretty weak year for documentaries, because I can't think of anything like that was really stood out.
Yeah.
Like as far as like, oh, that was a really good documentary.
Yeah. Nothing great.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things too, where like people are like, oh, I watched this documentary, that's why I'm vegan now. And you're like,
right.
Okay. Cool. I mean, I get it. I get like the power of a documentary, but maybe put a lot more thought into like why you do things.
Right. Yeah.
Other than an hour. Like if you can get convinced to doing something based off an hour. No diss to vegans, but goddamn, there should be more depth to it than.
That's probably not going to last that long then. Yeah.
I think it's like a ridiculous statistic of how many people become vegan and then quit.
Yeah.
I think it's
probably.
I think it's like 99% or some shit, like something like all of you quit at some point.
Damn. That's probably true.
Yeah. It's more like how long of a stretch can you be vegan? You know what I mean? It's like,
shout out your cousin.
I wonder how many people like need a vegan documentary to like keep them in the Holy Spirit, you know, like keep them like in that religion. No diss. I mean,
when's the carnivore diet documentary coming out to flip people the other way?
Damn, I don't want to hear about people and their fucking meat eating habits either. Both, I'm like, God damn, no one cares. God damn. And then they're gonna be like, I felt better than I've ever felt. I'm like, cool. But yeah, I don't know. Documentaries suck, I feel like, for the most part. They're so boring.
I think that's going against the grain, because it seems like people love documentaries still.
Yeah, that's because they like feeling like they're in the know.
That's probably true too.
God damn it. By the way, we're recording pretty early. This might be our earliest recording ever.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
This in Amanda Lynn, we recorded early too, so I don't know which one was earlier.
Probably this one. I don't think we recorded at 9.
I don't mind it, actually.
It's not bad.
I feel like I'm pretty awake.
Oh, that's good.
I still have the grumpies in me. Should we go to the next
Usually
category?
sleep off your grumpy.
Yeah.
Well, I got best trailer for a movie I didn't watch.
Yes. I have Uncut Gems.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know if I watched the trailer for Uncut Gems. It's just the one movie I want to watch that I haven't yet. So
Oh, okay.
You're the trailer. I think I watched the trailer, but yeah.
Did I watch that trailer? I'm trying to think if I either watched that trailer or just heard enough people talk about that on podcasts that I feel like I watched the trailer.
I didn't hear. I remember I'm pretty sure I watched the trailer because the reason I wanted to watch it, the first time I wanted to watch it was around the holidays because MJ's family, they go to the movies every year and they always want to watch the worst shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think this year they were trying to push for Little Women and something else.
Oh, really?
I was like, god damn. Like, and so I was looking through like all the movies coming out during the holidays and Uncut. So I was watching all the trailers and Uncut Gems was like the one I was like, oh, that looks good. And then it's one of those things you ever like, when you like learn something, then you just nonstop hear about it over and over and over again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, now that I like for instance, you and Uglo, I remember I learned about him not that long ago from an Instagram. I think I've talked about it before. And like after that, like everyone talks about him. Like, what the fuck? Was this guy always around or is it just like becoming a big thing now?
Yeah.
It's like, how have I never seen his stuff before?
That's interesting. Yeah. He's definitely like one of those like artist type dudes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I just know so many people have been influenced by him that like I've just seen his work because of that.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
I know. Now that I know his work, I see it a lot. I'm like, oh, you must be influenced, but maybe they're blind like me. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Maybe they have a weird blind spot.
So mine was The Farewell.
Farewell.
Yeah, it was the one. Do you know which movie I'm talking about though?
No.
It's the one where it looks like a drama, but it's kind of a
yes, I know exactly.
Looks sort of like a comedy. Yeah, where that girl Aquafina.
Yeah.
I guess has to go back to China to say bye to her grandma. I think.
I listened to a Radio Lab about that story specifically like years ago.
Oh, really?
And
okay.
They said they were making a movie about it, and I was like, that sounds like a horrible movie. So then when the movie came out, I was like, oh shit, this is that Radio Lab movie.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it was This American Life. It was
probably
one of those
This
two.
American Life. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So I don't know. So it's one of those things where like I think I know the whole story already.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't like really. I don't know. It doesn't really like appeal to me.
I see.
Like, it looks like a good movie. It's one of those things where it's like it's all the spoilers have been alerted.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looked like an interesting movie that, like, it seemed like a unique story, at least, like, for film.
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't seen anything that really quite looked like that before, and there were things about that looked interesting enough to want to check out, but I still haven't seen it.
I just wish they would have, like, casted Scarlett Johansson as the lead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or Emma Stone.
Yeah.
With their Asian grandma.
Bad joke. We're sorry. No offense. Please don't. Please don't be offended.
Let's see. Next one is Best Guilty Pleasure.
Oh, wait. What? I didn't have that on my list.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Ooh, Best Guilty Pleasure. God, you talk.
Okay.
I'll think.
Well, speaking of trailers, the Detective Pikachu trailer.
Did you watch that movie?
No, I didn't.
Hey, I would have watched that. God, I have a movie in mind, but I don't know the name of it. So, who the fuck was in it? God damn, this is how. It's
Jennifer
It's
Lopez.
like a robot lady. Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
Oh, was it Alita Battle Angel?
Yeah.
Who was that
would be my guilty pleasure movie, I think.
Yeah, that would definitely be one.
Yeah.
Who was the? I forget who it was. I don't think she was like a really well-known actress, was she?
No, and they altered her face, so it's hard to like.
Oh right, yeah, they made her look like a anime character or something.
Yeah, I think the guy from like Inglourious Bastards in it, like the
bad guy.
Yeah, the guy that's like
Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, that's his name. Sure, I believe you. Yeah, he's in it, I believe.
Okay.
I think he's the most recognizable person. Him, and then his ex-wife, who's in. She's like the lady in what's that fucking druggy movie from back in the day? I think it's black and white.
Druggy movie. Requiem for a Dream.
That's the one. Yeah. You know that actress lady?
Which one?
She's
trying to remember.
She's like
what's her name?
Come on, Sergio, you got this.
Not Jennifer Jason Leigh. That's like, but she has like a 3-name thing.
Yeah, I think she was in that like The Day the Earth Stood Still or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Like I can picture her in my mind, but I cannot.
I bet you could, Sergio.
Yeah, every night. God damn it. Yeah, that's going to annoy me until I look her up.
Only if we had smartphones in our hands.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that lady.
Give it a go.
She's always like quiet in all of her movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's always like got a little bit of like a anger in her eyes.
I always thought she had like a sadness in her eyes.
Maybe sadness. Yeah, that's a better way to put it. Yeah, sadness in her eyes.
That sad face lady.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about though. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah,
that's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, she's my guilty pleasure. All right.
What was yours?
Oh, the Detective Pikachu trailer.
Just the trailer.
Yeah. I don't know if I watched any movies that were like guilty pleasures. Yeah, I didn't watch enough movies to even like think of one that I would consider like guilty pleasure. Yeah.
At least a guilty pleasure that you liked as well. That's
right.
That's the other tricky thing.
Yeah, there's probably movies I could think of that just like I didn't like them that much.
Yeah, I watched that Zombieland Double Tap. That movie sucked ass.
But that looked like it would have. Yeah,
I know. I knew it would suck ass.
Yeah,
just one of those things. I'm like, I got to do it, and I did.
But you like the original?
Yeah, I like the original.
Mm-hmm.
At least at the time. I've never watched it since.
Right. Well, that's like 10-year-old movie now at this point.
And sometimes you watch a movie like, you know, it can only exist in its time. It's like comedy or some shit. You know? It's like because movies are built on it. Something that seemed like interesting then is like, all right, well, yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, I pulled that guilty pleasure out of my ass.
Nice.
I was like,
that's a good one. Though.
Yeah. Alita. What was it?
Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah, it actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't that good. It wasn't that bad.
I feel like if I watched Hustlers, that would have probably been my guilty pleasure.
That's funny because Hustlers. Well, we won't talk about that.
Okay. All right. Next one I got is most overhyped.
So I have two that are battling it out. But I think so. The first one is The Irishman, and the second one is Hustlers.
Hilarious.
But yeah.
Mine is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
See, I actually liked the Star Wars movie.
It was good, but I don't know.
I liked it more than the one before that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'd say that's a universal opinion.
Yeah, and not only that, but I feel like J.J. Abrams was like, yeah, I had to pull that bitch out of the toilet. Like he was like, it was like he was like, I forget, he like tweeted something out about how it was so fucking hard to like steer the ship back on course.
Wow. From
where the fucking last guy led it, that like it was fucking like the movie was never going to be as good as it was supposed to be because it got so fucking far off track.
I see.
So I mean, I commend him for at least steering it somewhat back to
something watchable for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I still think it's also just a tricky thing because it's like Star Wars is such like a sacred thing to people that it's like if it was its own movie, I probably wouldn't judge it that harshly.
Right.
but since it's attached to Star Wars, which I also think isn't that great of a movie, like the original Star Wars, I don't think are that great, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I also came to them very late, like as far as actually watching where I paid attention. Because I watched them as a kid and then didn't think about them and never watched them again until I was like in my early 20s. Yeah. So I did not have that nostalgia for it like people did. Yeah. And so... yeah, when it came out, I could just watch them objectively and just be like, all right, those are cool. Like, like I still think, what do you call it? Empire Strikes Back is a pretty good movie objectively.
Sure.
But, and I do like the original, what's it called? Is it New Hope? Something like, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, the first, like, yeah, that one was good.
Like, it stands alone as a good, like, sci-fi movie.
Yeah, the one J.J. Abrams first did, right?
Well, that one too, yeah. But I'm just talking about like the original Star Wars, the one that came out, 1975.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the first new one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No.
But
okay, sorry.
Yeah, and then the reason for me that it's overhyped is just because it basically has to carry the franchise like this last one that came out, and just feel like if it was just a like a movie that came out from a different series, it'd just be like, oh, okay, that was pretty good, like okay, I would watch another one of those if they came out with it, but like at this point it's like, all right, I'm done with any sort of Star Wars movie at this point.
And I think I mean, I think it fits perfectly into that category because it could, if it did stand alone, I would be like, yeah, that was fine. That was good. Mm-hmm. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. But it does benefit from having that name attached to it as well, which builds the hype. It's like because you have Star Wars attached to you, you get the huge amount of box office sales that you get. So, is that justified by the product? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Mine was The Irishman. I thought that movie fucking sucked.
Oh, really? You didn't like it at all?
No.
Wow.
It was.
Is it just because it was just too drawn out?
Here's the thing: is the fucking movie pulls you out of the movie nonstop. Because for some reason, Scorsese thought, it's a good idea to fucking hire a 70-year-old to play a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like the entire time you're like, oh no, that's an old man trying to pretend to be tough. Like, it's not a tough man, an old man. Like, for instance, a perfect way to utilize an old man to be tough, The Godfather. Have him sit behind the desk and call the shots. Mm-hmm. Don't have him beating up a guy on the street because what happens is they go like, oh, Robert cannot move.
That's true.
And whenever a movie does that, whenever they pull you out of it, like because I think one of the best things a movie does is it gets you like stuck. You get lost in that world for a bit, Mm-hmm. And the fact that they use so much CGI on Robert's face, and the whole time you're like, why does their faces look so weird?
Right.
It's like that kind of shit just annoys the fuck out of me. It's like you could have easily hired someone to play young Robert De Niro. That would have acted their ass off, and I would have been stuck, lost in that thing. And you could have had Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci from like kind of old to old, and I would have fucking been like, great, and that's so awesome that they had Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro in the movie. Right. You didn't have to have them the whole fucking movie so you can pat yourself on the back about your whole career through one movie. It's like, I don't know, it's like a bit annoying to me. It's like you were too busy trying to, I don't know, preach to us the like the beauty of filmmaking and specifically your work in general, and kind of trying to sum up your life's work into one film that you lost sight of like the fucking main point, which is to make a good movie. And you know, like, sure, there's cool details about it, but at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, not good.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I liked the movie, but I definitely found a lot of problems with it. But I mean, for me, just really the pacing, like, I definitely felt like it was a half hour too long after, like, even considering that it's a long movie, like, everything that happens after, like, the major plot change in the end wasn't that necessary. I get why he put that in there, because I don't know, he's trying to make a statement about aging and like losing your touch or something like that, but it's still like they could have been like it didn't need a whole like half hour after that to get that point across.
Yeah.
But I also thought like who was a worse offender about the whole aging thing was actually Pacino. Like I didn't buy him as like this tough Jimmy Hoffa guy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Like Pesci was good because he was more understated. Like he was the best of the three.
Right, for sure. But even then, it's still distracting.
Yeah.
The three main characters in your movie are distracting for the majority of your movie. Sorry, I can't like it. I'm sorry. I wanted to. I was super excited to watch that movie.
Yeah.
And then from the get-go, I'm like, wait, what's going on here? What is this? And I'm like, oh no, why does this keep happening? I mean, the pace, the only reason I don't even care about how long a movie is. I can watch a long movie.
Right.
The problem, the pace is an issue for me is because you're forcing me to watch this shit for too long. This distraction. You're like, God, this distraction is brutal.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was a big misstep. And I think if he had attacked, you know, trying to pay homage to like the mafia movies and this thing, I think it would have been better to kind of go the route of a Godfather. I mean, it's a whole different movie. I don't know why he picked the fucking killing of Jimmy Hoffa as like, this is where I'm going to stake my flag as like the movie to represent my movies, you know, and like this genre that I've attached myself to for so long. It's like, how is not trying to play like the Don of some family a better strategy? Because it kind of, to me, you could include all of those like little mini clips of murders, which I thought was probably the best part of the movie. Like this person died from this thing, or, you know, like, like those little like details to show kind of the brutality of that lifestyle and how short lived it is. And those things like you could have still attached that to the movie without having such a big, and you could have had everyone that you wanted. You know, you could have had Robert De Niro and Al Pesci play old versions of themselves with the idea that we all know the history in those movies they played. So it's cool to see them as as almost pretend that they got to the point that they survived you know, like in a to kind of play off these movies, like these characters somehow got to the pinnacle of where that character could be or something, and still, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I just thought it was a misstep.
The only problem I could see with that is people probably would criticize him, like saying that, oh, you just remade Godfather 2 if you did that.
I don't mean like actually Godfather. I think
no, I mean like what you're saying, like if like they had people, because doesn't De Niro play like young Pacino in Godfather 2 if I remember right? But like what you're saying, like there's all those like
Al Pesci, or what's his name?
Joe Pesci?
Not Joe Pesci, the other one.
Al Pacino?
Al Pacino. He's in The Godfather.
Right. Isn't he? But doesn't De Niro play the young Corleone in Godfather 2, or am I remembering that wrong?
I don't remember Robert De Niro in those movies.
Oh.
Maybe.
Well, either way, I feel like, yeah, that's the only thing that people would come at him about. But
there's like, for instance, The Sopranos, right? It's like the family, the head of the family is a totally different story than The Godfather. You would never compare one to the other. Like
that's true.
There's plenty of families and how they ran that family in that in that world where you could easily find an interesting story.
Right.
While having an older character play an older character that doesn't have to fight a guy on the street.
Yeah.
God damn, that was so distracting. You're like, give that man a cane, please. I don't know. And then he's just like running up to people and shooting them in the head, and you're like, he can't even run. It's so awkward. And he's supposed to be fighting guys. It's like, God, I can't. There's nothing worse than a fight scene that looks horrific. Just to pull you out of the movie. Just like, okay, well, yeah, that's Robert De Niro. Right. That's not fucking the mob guy. That's Robert De Niro.
The actual Robert De Niro doing that, yeah.
I mean, that's the point of that's the job of an actor, right? Is to represent the character as good as they can. When that person can't, then they failed at their fucking job. Sorry, I'm not going to pretend that didn't happen the whole time. I'm like, oh yeah, he was a 30-year-old. I totally was convinced of that bullshit.
Yeah, I guess it was so unbelievable to me that he was a 30-year-old that I just thought, oh, okay, this is just him like older, like in his 50s or something at least. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just 50 the whole movie.
Yeah, that's what
he was 50.
Decided that's what he was.
50 until he became 70.
Yeah.
40 years later.
Yeah.
It's like modern day him.
Yeah.
It's like he's only 70 now. Right.
Because, it just did not look 30 at all, even with the CGI.
Sergio, I wish I could have the blind acceptance that you have.
Yeah. It's a much better life.
It's ridiculous. He's like, he was just 50. He had the kid at 50.
Yeah, exactly.
His like wife's all young and hot, and he was just like, oh, she likes older men.
Right, yeah, exactly.
He came out of the army.
How is this so hard to believe?
He's like, it's like in the movie if they had like what is it? The fuck is it called when you're like at the draft and it's like, oh, I've been drafted in the army. Like, they drafted a 50-year-old?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. All right, let's move past this.
All right.
Oh, also, I had
what were your thoughts on Hustlers?
Hustlers, because it sucked.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I put that movie in like the same category as like Crazy Rich Asians and like Black Panther. Like,
okay.
For some reason, those three movies, they were like subpar movies that somehow people thought were amazing. And to me,
okay.
I don't see it. Like, it's like Crazy Rich Asians is a rom-com, like basic rom-com. Like Hustlers is like I don't know. It's like a really shitty Ocean's 11 with nudity.
Okay.
It felt like a really bad version. Not even
not even fair to
11.
compare.
I don't know what to call it. It was just not good. I don't know.
I see.
That Crazy Rich Asian lady's in both those movies. No diss to her. She just doesn't know how to pick a decent movie. But somehow she has a lot of hype on her. So good on you.
Shall we go to the next one then?
Sure.
All right. Well, this one's, we'll see. Best superhero movie.
All right. So this is going to be interesting because I have a feeling you wrote Joker.
No.
Oh, you didn't? I wrote Glass.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. I was thinking Joker, but
it's not really a superhero movie.
Exactly. That's what I thought. I was like, it's not a superhero movie. I don't even think it's like in that. It's like its own thing. It's like they just used a character from a superhero but made something else.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt about it.
Yeah. So I put Glass. That was the only one. I probably should have put Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse as well.
The only reason I didn't put that one in, even though I watched it this year, was just because it came out like 2017 or something.
Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's kind of old at this point.
Yeah, I just watched it this year. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, me too. I liked it a lot too.
Oh, yeah, by the way, we set a rule in this that you didn't have to come out this year. We just had to watch it this year.
Oh, well, actually,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I did insteid. Okay, we'll get to that.
You did like an opposite thing? A different thing?
It's just in a different category.
Okay, yeah. All right, for sure. But yeah, so if we do something that's in like 2018 or 17 or fucking 1985, don't give a shit.
Yeah.
All right, we just are saying what we watched this year that we thought was the best in this category.
Yeah, I tried to stick to 2019 movies as best as I could, but still.
Me too. But whatever.
Yeah. But what was that you had Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, well, I had Glass.
Oh, Glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just thought it was like, I don't know, I'm not a big superhero movie guy,
sure,
to be honest. And yeah, it was good. I liked that like trilogy of movies. I thought it was like a good, you know,
was it Unbreakable, Split and Glass? Okay.
Yeah. And I just thought, I don't know, it's not like I just enjoy, I feel like they're their own thing. Like they didn't live off the hype of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Superman has built-in audience. Like this is a superhero movie, like that's a very original that has no like the only built-in audience are people that loved Unbreakable or Split or some shit. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
And they're like, cool. There's a final thingy. Like it's its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I always give like extra credit for that, especially nowadays where everything's a goddamn remake. Everything's a goddamn built-in audience. Let's maximize the amount of seats we can fill based on only the fact that the audience is built in. So, Glass, I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I went with the super obvious choice, Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. I mean, on the other end, I actually really liked. I hate those movies, but surprisingly, that one and the one before, I was like, wow, they did something there.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's it came together pretty epic way.
Yeah.
Like that amount of storyline coming together like that. Yeah, props to it.
Yeah, I still wish it would have stopped with just that one.
Oh, like everyone just disappeared. That's it.
Yeah.
That is a very Josh way of thinking about it.
Or even like, you know, the beginning of Endgames where they're kind of showing the
aftermath of things. Yeah.
I wish it would have ended there. You know what I mean? Just add that to the end of Endgame.
Okay, yeah.
And then just stop it there and be like, so you're like, there's potential, but it's going to be tough.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. I liked it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I liked it, but I'm not like excited about where they're taking the story next.
It's
like,
almost
it doesn't matter at this point anymore.
Yeah, it's almost like I wish that was the end.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, we did it, guys. We did the end of all superhero movies.
Yeah.
We nailed it.
Like, I don't even mind if they try to like just do a whole new thing with like different superheroes.
Or never do superhero movies again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's not happening, but still, I just mean.
It could. It could. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But like when the Spider-Man movie came out and it was basically like continuing his story after the Avengers movie, I'm like, I don't care at all whatsoever.
For sure. Yeah. How could you?
Yeah.
It's almost like give it a 10-year break. How about that?
Right.
Give everyone 10 years and then you come back and you recreate something in a different way. Don't do it anymore. How about that? Yeah. We got enough superhero movies. Holy fuck. How do you care about all these superheroes? Then people are complaining about, I don't know, fucking, what was that, Wonder Woman lady or some shit?
Oh, yeah. Well, at least that's a different universe, so.
I don't give a fuck about any of that shit.
I know.
Universes and fucking the beef between the two big boys on the block. I really don't care. God damn it. We had enough. What started all this shit? X-Men? Was that the X-Men movies? That was the first one that like I feel like kickstarted all this hype.
I know there was out of the Marvel ones, I'd say it was Iron Man because I feel like the X-Men ones were popular, but they kind of petered out.
But I feel like I feel like there was like a progression. It was like X-Men, then Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
and then Iron Man, and then it like you could see like the snowball effect. Like X-Men didn't really hit the like the fucking I don't know, marks it should have. But then it still went on forever, didn't it? Like, didn't they just end it with that like Logan movie, which I haven't watched, but I heard is good.
Yeah, even though that was kind of like it. That was similar to Joker, where it was like a standalone sort of thing. Although there was still a lot of superhero stuff that happened in it, but
although there was a guy with claws in his hand.
Yeah, a lot of electricity flying everywhere too. But yeah, I think Iron Man started because it was the same character throughout, whereas like with X-Men and Spider-Man and all that, they all had their own sort of thing going on. Like they didn't overlap at all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of them.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's the one random thing I feel like that is like in this list of like actual like things we want to talk about that isn't a negative.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'm like, why do you deserve your own like fucking category superhero? You know what I mean? It's like,
I don't know, because we just did it last year, so I just kept it on the list.
But I feel like it is because I feel like there's like the genres of like comedy and drama and horror or whatever, right? But if you put movies into categories, superhero probably has the largest category of movies made per year now. I don't know. It seems fucking dumb to me. At the same time, I don't know. At the same time, I have a weird theory. I think I've talked about it before. How it's like I think human, like I think superheroes have like kind of replaced the myth of like gods and the role they play in modern day society.
Yeah.
You know, not like religion, but like what I think,
like almost like Greek gods.
Yeah, like I think there's these versions of superhumans who kind of teach or are there to put lessons as like how humans should behave, especially based around like the amount of power you have or some shit like that. And I think superheroes oddly are kind of filling that role for a lot of people. They just aren't. I just think that superhero movies in like 10 years, we're going to look back and we're going to be like, wow, those are really bad. Like all of them are like so tacky.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I feel like I could see it now. And I feel like a lot of people are like, they're like actors in costumes. Yeah. Like over the top, like costumes.
Oh yeah. Especially as technology gets better, you'll start to see like the flaws in that even more, obviously.
Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
People can do whatever they want to watch them all, but no dust, no beef, no offense. But yeah.
All right. Next category, best comedy.
I have a Medea family funeral.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what? That's an upset of the night. Well, I have two different things first because one, I did an actual feature film and the other is like a comedy special.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So this is another one where it's like, I can't really think of any like other comedy movie that I saw this year that like it was the only one that came up in my head, but it was Dolomite. My name's Dolomite.
That was a good movie.
And then my comedy special was Dave Chappelle, Sticks and Stones.
Yeah. Goddamn, I wish I would have thought about comedy specials. Yeah. The second you said that, I was like, oh yeah, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. Good choices, both of them. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, Dave Chappelle, beast. Talk about a man that's good at his craft. Holy fuck.
I know. Yeah, that special for me, the only thing is like it started off kind of like, oh, this kind of reminds me too much of the specials that like the first two Netflix specials, which were good, but there were things about it that I didn't like as much as like his as like, you know, For What It's Worth and the other one. And then as it got along, I was like, oh, okay, when he started talking about like the whole like gun segment and stuff, that was all like, okay, this is like vintage Dave Chappelle at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, he was fucking great. Good special.
Yeah.
There's a couple of good specials this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Dolomite. I know I watched that movie and really liked it, but I can't remember it that well. Oh yeah, I can't. Now I'm starting to remember actually. Yeah, guy like making a film and really taking a shot.
Yeah,
that was kind of the whole idea. Yeah,
right.
Good movie, and kind of like, like a man that kind of had his priorities straight at the end of the movie. Right, that was like the big thing. Of like, he's doing it for the passion, not for the accolades or some shit.
Pretty much, yeah. He has, he kind of has that. What do you call it? The sort of like naive, like. What do you call it? Like just knowing that he's on the right track with something and just like seeing it through to the end, no matter what.
Yeah.
Kind of something we've talked about before on the podcast.
For sure. Yeah. And Dave Chappelle there's something awesome about watching, like the older I get, the more when you see someone doing what they do best, like in stride, just kind of like nailing it. I don't know. There's something I love watching anyone who like, I mean, I've like this weird love for like competitive cooking shows or something like, like Top Chef I love, but there's something about just watching, that person who like loves this thing and is doing it at such a high level, like just doing it that I'm like, just in the act of that, like in the act of just being a really good, like just killing it at what they do. I get so interested in that, even if it's something dumb, like, or not even, they're not even that good. Even sometimes, like, remember I was watching a glass blowing show a little bit on Netflix.
Yeah.
I just kind of like watched a couple episodes, but I remember being like, God, there's a whole world of like shit I have no concept of, but like these people fucking, are just in it and do it. And
for sure.
I don't know. But yeah, Dave Chappelle, I love that shit. A man just murdering it at what he does best. Good choice. I picked Parasite and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those are my two.
I could see those, as comedies.
Yeah.
It's not the categories I would like put them in, but yeah.
Yeah. I thought that
Parasite actually had a lot of really good humor in it, though.
Yeah. And I think that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is almost more comedy than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know exactly what genre I would put it in. But yeah, I mean, I could buy it being a comedy. I could buy it being a drama. Like,
yeah. I just thought like a lot of the scenarios are just hilarious, and a lot of comedy is like built on like tension and then the relief of it. So like I thought that movie, I don't know, it's just, that movie is probably my favorite. If I had to say my favorite comedy out of the two, would be that one. And then Parasite, I thought was just like I mean, even that movie, I think for the most part is like, I think it's a thriller / comedy. Almost, I don't even know if I don't know how much it is one over the other, but
right.
I mean, even like the darkest moments, I think are kind of funny.
I agree. Yeah.
And silly and ridiculous. Like, oh my God, that's so funny and stupid. And like, but pulled off, that's the thing, is they don't show their cards. It's just kind of, I don't know, they just nail it. Like, I don't know. I don't know how bad of spoiler I want to do.
I know. There's so much I want to say about that movie. That's just...
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah. That was the warning.
Don't fuck up.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just say there's a person that worked for the couple, the wealthy couple, and their storyline is so like dark and ridiculous and hilarious.
Yeah.
And like even some of the things about it, like there's a moment where the lady shows up and she's like all fucked up. Yeah. And then it's just like, what happened here? Like, I'll explain later. It's
right.
Like, they don't even touch on it. It's just so dumb. It's so like ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Those two movies to me, I thought were like the I think comedy in general, like that genre, a lot of times gets it fucked up. Like they're too busy trying to like
be funny for the sake of funny.
Yeah, and I get that, but I think like stand-up comedy does that way better, and is a way better platform to just be funny for funny's sake. And a movie, when that happens, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love like Anchorman and those movies, but I think those movies kind of, did it to the point where it almost can't be done anymore, I guess. I don't know. It hasn't been done really well in a long time. But then there's these movies that are kind of more sneaky about it that I'm like, that's hilarious. Like that was even not Hereditary, The Killing of a Sacred Deer. That movie was one of those where it's like, oh, you're sneaky being hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of his movies are like that. I don't know how many of them have you seen, but
I think I've seen 2.
Okay.
But I might be wrong. But yeah.
For sure.
Should we move?
All right.
On?
Yeah. Okay. I got Best Action next.
Oh, I don't have that one. How come I don't
really?
Like these? Did I just like not read good?
Maybe.
I'm horrible at reading, so I don't see it on here. Oh no! Oh, I see. Yeah, I just went down to the next line.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll try this again.
Action.
I have Knives Out, and I don't know if that necessarily counts as an action film.
I don't know if it counts as an action film either. I feel like,
but it's the closest thing I have to an action film in my thing that's not like superhero.
Yeah, I don't know what action film I would put in there. God, I can't even. Let me. But yeah, I mean, I just watched Knives Out yesterday. It's a great film. I don't know if it falls under action film. I don't watch that many action films.
I don't either. Like, I've never seen a John Wick.
Oh, I've seen one.
What else came out? Trying to remember even what else. Like, I mean, I feel like John Wick is like the premier action movie, other than like the Fast and Furious fucking movies too. Oh
yeah,
which I'm not interested in.
Not at all.
So stop sending me Fast and Furious memes, Plague of Crows.
I watched The Terminator.
Oh, okay, the new one.
Was that any good? I don't think so.
I couldn't imagine it being that good.
I think it was. I mean, it was. I think it was better than like they've been for a while.
Oh, really?
But it still sucked. Rambo, didn't watch that.
Nope, not interested. I heard that was terrible either way.
I watched what is it? Alita. That's an action film.
Yeah.
That might be my choice then.
Is Alita gonna nab 2 awards this season?
Yeah, it might have to be. It's just I don't really watch. The issue with action films is that they don't talk in them. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of like movies I watch during like while I'm painting. Ford and Ferrari is on this action thing. I watched that.
Oh, I didn't watch that yet.
I might win it over Alita.
Wow, that might be an overhyped movie then if it just barely beats out Alita.
Well, I didn't think Alita was that bad.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. It sounded like you didn't think it was that good either.
I have a feeling if I watch Uncut Gems, it would be in there.
Okay. Is that an action movie?
I don't know. I just hear the pacing of it's like super intense.
Well, that might be as much an action movie as Knives Out then.
Like your adrenaline is just like nonstop. Like I heard people like their anxiety is just through the roof the entire time. I don't know if that makes it an action movie. I haven't watched it, so I should just shut the fuck up. But,
yeah.
I picked Ford and Ferrari.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Knives Out I'd only heard about because Vanessa and I were going to go to the movies and like she showed me the trailer. I was like, that looks good enough to watch. And then I got there and we both like really liked it more, I think, than either of us expected to.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I watched the trailer when I watched it. I think Hollywood, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think it was a trailer at Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I think it was.
I remember being like, holy fuck, that cast is deep.
Right. Yeah. Is that Daniel Craig who was the detective guy? I think. And then just pretty much everyone else.
Yeah, it's just stacked on stacks.
Chris Evans not being Captain America was interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, that movie's probably going to be good or horrific.
Right, yeah.
So I feel like whenever you stack a movie like that,
right,
it either means it's a good role because, first of all, it didn't look like a high budget film. So it was like, either that movie's like good enough for those actors to be like,
right,
yeah, you don't have to pay me a ton. I'm down.
For sure.
Or it's a real shit show of a movie that fails.
Yeah, the director was Ryan Johnson, who was the guy who almost single-handedly took down Star Wars in
really? That was him?
episode, what is it, 8 or whatever? Yeah, so that was probably a strike going against it, going in.
We thought, you know what? Let's kill off Princess Leia and then bring her back to life.
Right, make her float in space, yeah.
Well, good on him.
Yeah. So yeah, both Vanessa and I were both neither of us figured it out until the end. So I feel like it was a good mystery.
Yeah. But I don't know if it lands as action film.
Yeah.
I feel like action film is like it ends up being like high speed chases.
Right.
A lot. It has to have like multiple explosions. Which I get, yeah.
I mean, there were some chases in it.
At least a couple of fights by hand where the people seem to know Kung Fu randomly.
I think there's some of that in Knives Out. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they weren't necessarily doing Kung Fu, but there was hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. And a fully automatic weapon.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if Knives Out had that exactly.
I don't think Ferrari had it.
Well, cars can be used as weapons. So.
But yeah, I don't know. Action films are probably end up being one of my least favorite genres of any film. Just because I can't watch them while I'm painting, and I don't want to watch them when I'm not painting.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They're just, I don't know. The good guy always fucking wins. Let's be honest.
That's really, I think, what comes down to it for me. Like, I don't go into movies, like, I don't need that from movies, like that whole, like, good guy wins sort of thing.
Yeah. I don't need my team to win every time.
Right.
In fact, I probably want them to lose more.
Yeah.
I want to be surprised.
Right.
That's what I want. I want to go in thinking I know what's going to happen, and then my whole shit gets flipped upside down at some point or another, you know? And then from there, because it's like I don't know, the pleasure of discovering, you know what I mean? Like, like the of figuring or like something kind of like, I don't know, like in art, like I think one of the cool things, like one working narratively is like, I have like an idea and then somehow like throughout the process, I discover like, oh, like this is kind of like, I think we talked about it with, what's her name? I don't know. But it's like if you hear about like writers where they will know like either like the plot of the book or like they know the ending, they just have to figure out how to get there or some shit like that. But there's like that discovery of like, oh, this is how it becomes interesting or something, or they have the whole story, they just don't have the ending, and then they figure out the ending and they're like perfect. Like that sums up the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think in a movie, I kind of want that. I want to go in and I'll have my own like built-in ideas of what's going to happen based on like the history of movies I watched and shit like that. But then if they can kind of fuck with me a bit, and then now I'm in a place where I'm just super hyper focused on what they're doing and I'm super into that movie, and they get to take me wherever the fuck they want now because I have no idea what's going on. They get to tell me what's going on. All the information is just coming at me and I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? I just get to enjoy it rather than watching Robert De Niro's old ass fucking try to beat a guy up. It's like Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's that beauty of like, you got me lost in the art, which I think
Yeah, absolutely.
we've talked about it before. I think that's like one of the most important things art has is to have the person fully invested in whatever the fuck.
Right. The escapism aspect of it. Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, but action movies just don't do. And I understand why for some people it might, just because they might get lost in like the action of shit, like the like poof and the, like all that. Like I could see how you can get lost in that. Like,
there's also like this aspect that some people really like the whole idea of like good guy's gonna win. That's like comforting for them.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't need that.
Yeah. It's funny when that doesn't happen and you hear people that they don't like the movie.
Because of that. Yeah.
You're like, what? Or because it didn't have a very clear ending.
Right.
They're like, I just didn't like how it ended. And you're like, why? And they're like, because they just leave it open. And you're like, good.
Yeah. Most of the time, those are the endings I like.
Yeah. And most likely they didn't even leave it open. They just didn't spoon feed
you. Yeah, exactly.
It's like the answer's there. You just didn't fucking look hard enough, you lazy fuck. No diss.
You child.
But yeah.
All right. So, okay. We got
Alita's probably my choice. I changed my mind. Only because I'm like, Ford vs. Ferrari is not an action film.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck what they say.
So, all right. Next category. I got best drama.
Best drama.
Okay. So this could go. All right. I'll just tell you what I picked. I picked Parasite for best drama.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's a good. I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I feel like it's more of a thriller.
Yeah. It's kind of. It fits in so many different genres that I'm just like, this is a good place for me to put it.
Sure.
Especially. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's going to come up again. So I don't know if we want to get into it.
Parasite?
Yeah. Like, yet, or should we?
Sure. I mean, either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hold off on it for now.
Okay. Yeah.
Since we've already kind of talked a lot about it.
Sure. And I picked The Joker.
Okay.
I thought,
that's a good choice.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was going to make my list. I thought The Joker was a really good movie, but I don't know. It's such a dark movie. I mean, and
it's very dark. Yeah.
And it's very much like we were talking about like Parasite and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They kind of live in this like weird like comedy drama, comedy thriller, whatever you want to call it. Like where Joker was like very just one note, dark on dark on dark on dark. It just gets darker and darker and darker. And
it was dark to the point where it was bleak to me. Yeah.
It's almost like hard to watch again.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever watch that movie. It's maybe like years from now.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way about it, where like I probably could watch it again. I don't know if I'm like, there's a lot of movies where you get out of the theater and you're like, oh, I definitely want to watch that again because I feel like the things I didn't quite or I just like enjoyed it enough. But that one's like, I like the experience of like the performance of it, but like it's a heavy ass movie.
It's just dark, and it's one of those movies where they literally didn't have to put any Easter eggs in the movie because why would I go back and try to find those? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's like it's just I don't know. It's the idea is a great idea of showing how a person can become this like imaginary supervillain, right? Like, in this way that feels super authentic and just dark and depressing. It's just, I don't know. Just tough to watch. It's tough. I mean, in a real life scenario, I would never want to watch the destruction of a human being to the point where they crack and become a crazy person, and or become a crazier person, I guess. I don't know. It's a dark movie, but yeah, that's my drama pick. I don't know. It was a great movie. It's just hard.
Right.
I wonder how hard it is to make that movie.
You need somebody like Joaquin Phoenix, who seems like he has a screw loose in general.
You know what's crazy is the director's like a like.
Oh yeah, Todd Phillips. Yeah. Same dude that did like Old School and all that. Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right.
But whatever. I mean, he sure can pick a genre and just push it to the limit. I'll tell you that much.
For sure. Yeah. Especially that one. I wonder if it was just like a reaction to him just being like, I'm done with comedies.
I hope not. I feel like I feel like in a weird way when you create shit, like especially like it can put you in a mood or you have to like pursue that mood. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're creating these dark fucking movies, I'm like, dude, like how do you live in that world? Like how do you not, how does that not make you like get more depressed and kind of feel like those like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think the last movie he made before this was the one where Jonah Hill and Miles Teller are like selling guns.
Oh,
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
And like that was a comedy to me, but like it definitely took like dark turns in that movie.
Yeah. Like I don't remember it super well. I just remember little tidbits of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here, but I just remember like the dark turn that the Jonah Hill character took in that. Like you kind of see him devolve into this person. So I'm wondering if that was just kind of like the next logical thing, was just like, I want to go all out the next movie.
Maybe. Fuck. So, yeah, I mean, it's weird because I watched Taxi Driver this year again.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, I think I haven't watched it since high school. So,
okay,
at least over 15 years. And I watched it before I watched The Joker because I was telling him, I'm like, oh, you should watch Taxi Driver. Like, it's like one of those like classic movies that always comes up and shit like that. And yeah, I mean, it was the Joker is almost exactly that storyline. Like you realize so much of like the Joker is just Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
But just he just heightened the levels of it.
Okay.
To like darker and
for sure.
Yeah. But I don't know. Both of them are dark, sad movies.
For sure. Yeah. I haven't seen Taxi Driver in such a long time. I don't remember exactly how dark it gets.
Yeah, the end of Joker is very similar to the end of Taxi Driver. Not the end where there's like riots in the streets and shit. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
We should have said in the very beginning of this, like, if you haven't watched these movies and just like,
yeah. Well, I hope that's implied in this whole thing, but we'll see.
For sure. Yeah, don't hate us. I hate a spoiler alert, so.
Right.
Or I hate a spoil. I should say. I appreciate an alert.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. We should probably move past the darkness.
All right. Next one I got, Best Art Direction. I got Midsummer.
Me too.
Nice. So you did end up watching that movie?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, finally. It's been on my Rolodex. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. In your queue.
Yeah, my queue for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it. I just knew it wasn't going to live up to Hereditary.
Sure.
So I was like, I don't know. Whenever that happens, I'm like, I don't know what to do. But I mean, it was a great fucking movie.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I agree. It didn't live up to like Hereditary, but it holds up as a good movie no matter what.
A really good movie. Yeah. If I didn't know that person created Hereditary, I'd be like, holy fuck, that movie was awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
So good on him. That was a great fucking movie.
Yeah. And I know we've talked about it before, but when I first watched it in the theater, the whole thing about like pairing the beauty of the natural scenery with this like all these horrific things happening or in it. Right. It's like there's no escaping the horrors of what's happening.
Right.
It's very interesting that way, where it's like, how do we, like, it's almost like, I almost feel like it was a challenge that he took upon himself to do it that way.
Yeah.
Where it's like, can I do something that's a horror, like just as terrifying, but in broad daylight?
Right. Yeah. I mean, not only that, but like the fact that it was always daylight.
Yeah.
Because of where they're at. It's just like, oh, it's a time of the year where it's nonstop daylight. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like you can't, darkness allows you to hide.
Mm-hmm.
This is the inability to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or like it's night, but only for like 2 hours or some shit.
Something like that. Yeah. Because there's a couple of night scenes in it, but yeah.
But yeah, awesome movie. And like some of the, like there's little things that he does in that movie, like with the structures of the buildings and like the entranceway to that place that he does. I think that like adds so much aesthetically to the, like, cause it's like this beautiful scenery. And then he has these like this like yellow building that's just fucking visually beautiful. It's just like, it's already a beautiful environment and it's hard to make it more beautiful, but he makes it so much more aesthetically pleasing or draws your attention based on like the choices in how the structures in this environment are. And you're like there's like a black building and a fucking yellow one, and the entranceway is so dramatic. It's like all these things that just like, you know, like it like makes this beautiful nature scene just more captivating, more interesting, and more. It's such a cool like goddamn, you guys really had a, you know, like they had a fine touch, like they really made the small, like made the little ads very important. Like they didn't overdo it. Everything was very subtle. Everything was, I don't know. It was just like, even like where they're sleeping, they have like this like folk art on the walls.
Yeah.
Like all these tiny details that just make sense and just add extra value to what you're looking at.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's why it won for art direction for me, because of all those little bits and pieces.
And it's just done so well. You're like, God.
Yeah. Like even like the costuming and stuff, all that was like, just so like beautifully done and like just like it's such an interesting scene to put this horrific what do you call it? Yeah, just like all the things that happen through that movie is just really interesting. And then also even like they're coming from where were they? Were they like in Canada or something, like where they started? I forget exactly where they or no. Were they
New York or something?
Was it New York? Oh, maybe it was. I forget. Something like that.
I just remember it was like a big-ish city.
Yeah, but it was like a cold winter area, and like it starts off with like a really jarring scene as well. One of those scenes that just sticks with you, at least for me.
I don't want to talk about it on the thingy.
Yeah,
but there's a question I'd like to kind of ask you about that specific opening scene.
Yeah. Okay.
Plug your ears, people. What should we do? Fuck it. You know what? If you haven't watched Midsummer and whatever, then plug your ears or fast forward for like I don't know, till you stop hearing us talk about Midsummer.
Yeah.
But do you think starting now? Do you think that opening scene where the main character, her family, has died?
Yeah.
Do you think, I have this like weird thing where it's like, that was caused by the people, right?
Oh.
Do you think, or no? Or
good question.
Parallel? Because
yeah, I don't know, because like I don't know how much can I give away at this point. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
My thought was that it seemed like it was set up almost in a way where she was kind of meant to go.
Right.
And it was
it definitely was. Like, he, what's his name? Like, kind of like was grooming her, but I don't know if it started before the trip planning or he just took advantage of
But it's also like...
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, because it seemed like they would... Like, it was necessary for them to bring outside people in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have to watch that movie again. That's another movie that's hard to watch again, but... At the same time,
I could watch it again.
Yeah, for sure I could. I watched...
There's actually like a director's cut that's like another extra like 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
But yeah. If you're still fast forwarding, you could stop now, probably.
Yeah. Vanessa hasn't watched that, but I think she wants to, so I'll probably just watch like the director's edition with her.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, good movie. I definitely should watch that again. Should we go to the next one? That was the first one we agreed on, by the way.
Is it? Yeah, I think so. Well, okay. We'll do best cinematography.
We're going to do 2 for 2. I picked Parasite.
Okay. I actually picked Midsummer for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MJ, I talked to MJ. I was like, what? I just like, after I wrote my list, I was like, what do you think? Who's this? Just to see like, maybe there was something I forgot. And she picked Midsummer for both of these as well.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the same reasons for cinematography. I just thought it was such a beautifully shot film that just like, I loved Parasite cinematography. I think that's like easily runner up for me, but just considering like the visuals for it, I just really was impressed by Midsummer.
Yeah. I really liked Midsummer was probably runner up for me, but Parasite for me, I thought the cinematography, the way they shoot the house and the movement of the characters in the house, all of those, like, those things were super interesting, where the house was like a character of its own, and almost had like mischievous intentions or something like that. Yeah. There's like the house is a big character in that movie, and they do it really well through the cinematography. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I just thought it was, I mean, on top of that, like the like comparisons between like the rich and the poor and that, I also thought like they captured like that world very well as well.
Yeah. I just remembered that actually Vanessa pointed something out to me because we watched that movie together, and apparently every time like they're going up in social status, the camera is showing them like going up up or down, like whenever they're moving up in social status. So yeah,
it's I mean, it's also like the poor people literally live underground.
Right. Yeah.
like that's how far they start, is like down below, and then
right.
And
even like, well, yeah. I don't want to.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, that as well.
Yeah.
That guy as well.
Yeah. Good. You picked up last button.
Yeah. I'd have to rewatch that and check that out, because I'm thinking now, I'm like, oh yeah, there's even moments where like people get like pushed downstairs. Let's say.
Right. Yeah.
And that's like a literal, like you just hit rock bottom moment, and in the most dramatic way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way they filmed that movie, to me was so interesting, and even just the, like, I don't know, the movement of the camera, I feel like, is utilized so well in that movie, where it really builds tension when it needs to. It really, like, even the stair thing, which I didn't even notice. It's like, like that's such a tiny little detail that they added into it. I don't know. I just think I just watched that movie a couple of days ago, and I just remember the whole time watching, like, God, everything is fucking gorgeous. And it's not like Midsummer. They started like, I mean, the house in that movie in Parasite is gorgeous, but like, but like they're Midsummer, like they could, it would be hard to fuck that up in a word, you know, in a way. Like
I see what you mean.
To film that bad.
Yeah.
Parasite, every shot I was like, God, this is fucking, it's so well, like how they fucking composed this shot is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And not only in the fancy house, but just everything that like it just it just kept getting good. It was kept getting good. It was just shot after shot. I was like, God, that was fucking awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that. Shout out to that movie. Wow. I was impressed.
Next category then?
Yeah.
All right. I got Best Animated. I got Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I had Claws. I don't know if you watched that.
No.
It's like a Christmas movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, but yeah, I actually really liked it.
Did you? Oh, okay. I thought maybe
really
you just threw that in because that's the only animated movie you watched or something.
No, Spider-Man to the universe or into the Spider-Verse was also. And I watched that hand one, like the Detached from My Body one.
What is that?
I don't know. It was up for a nomination after I watched it. I was like, oh, is it that well known?
I don't even know. I don't know what movie you're talking about.
It's called like I Lost My Body, I think is what it's called.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like I saw the poster for it, but I don't know a thing about it. Okay.
There's interesting things in the movie, but I don't know. There's like a bit of like it seemed like a very artsy animated film.
Looks like it would be, yeah.
But I have issues with the art. That's I think
okay.
like it's almost artsy. I don't know how to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's executed that well. I think it's almost executed well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it was a bit distracting for me. I'd like to, if you watch it, I'd like to hear what you think. Maybe you wouldn't hate the art as much as I did. I didn't hate the art. I didn't think it was done as good as I was hoping.
I see.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man was hella dope. I don't know
Yeah.
What else could I say about it? But yeah. I mean, like very interesting techniques in animation in it for sure, where they blended all sorts of different ways of visual storytelling in it. Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was cool. Like it had like this sort of comic book feel to it, and like sort of this, I don't know, cutting edge animation thing too. I don't know. I just thought it was very interesting in that way.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
All right.
Although I think that came out in 2017, Sergio, no big deal. Should we move on?
Yeah. Well, what do you got for your next category?
Favorite TV show?
Oh, okay. Yep.
I had Fargo season 3. I know it didn't come out this year, but I watched it this year.
Oh, okay. Still got to get to that one. I watched season 1, almost done with season 2.
What'd you think?
Amazing.
Fuck yes. So good.
So good.
I still think it might be the best television show ever made.
I could see that. Yeah. I definitely think season 2 is better than season 1. Like I feel like especially the beginning of season 1, they were still kind of like
working up the kinks.
Yeah, finding their footing in certain things. So certain things came off a little cartoony to me, but like by the end of it, like, yeah, it was totally enthralling. Whereas, yeah, season 2 just starts off great and just never loses. It just gets even crazier and crazier.
That makes sense. I didn't go back and watch season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So season 1, when I watched it, I was like, well, that was fucking amazing. And then season 2 was like, holy shit, they did it twice.
Yeah. Did you like them about equally?
Yeah, but I could totally see going back and watching season 1 and being like, oh, yeah, not as good as, because I feel like it also is like Fargo kind of seemed to like come out right around the time where TV seemed to really be on the cutting edge of like film in general. Not like for instance, I feel like people put Breaking Bad on a really high pedestal, but I don't even think Breaking Bad is at that level. I think it was like there's like a couple shows that like pushed these shows further. And I think Fargo is one of those shows where it's like, it's just really, really good. Like better than film. And most films are probably a lot of films. Like I remember watching season 2 and being like, I don't know if anything can beat that thing. Like, that is amazing.
Damn. I love that they're encapsulated in the seasons. Like the story is like, it's a 10-hour movie basically.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's long form storytelling.
Right.
Where a movie doesn't have that ability to do that. So if you can cast a perfect cast and then have a story worth telling that long, then all of a sudden you have something that's, how does a movie even compete? How can you develop a character as well as you could with 10 hours in fucking 1.5? It just doesn't exist. So they have that advantage. And Fargo does it really fucking well.
Yeah, the most impressive thing to me that I noticed after a while watching is that every scene is important. Like, if you take, like, there's very few that are like filler scenes. It's just everything moves the plot along, and everything, like, nearly every scene, like the way it ends is like a revelation. Like this, like, you can't wait. Like, okay, now that's introduced, and now what's gonna happen? And it's just like keeps building up on itself like that. It's amazing. Like the writing of that, or just like, the writing and directing of it. Just, I don't even know, like, how you get that good at that.
I wonder how far you got on season 2.
Oh, the last episode. I just have to finish the last episode. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, craziness just happened in the.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
buy a hotel or something.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Fuck. I remember watching them and go, "What the fuck just happened?" Fuck, that's awesome. That's the shit I love. See, that's one of those things where it's like you just threw a wrench and shit. Like, those are those like tricks that I was talking about earlier, where like you can anticipate things, but then they can introduce something into a story that just kind of throws you on your head, and you're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who I am anymore. Like, just take me wherever you're going to take me. Like,
exactly.
Just lead me to the finish line.
That's it's like I was because Vanessa and I first started watching it together, and then like I went home and just like binge the rest of the season. I was just like, this is why I can't do TV shows. This is what happens. I'm up till 4 a.m. Like,
fuck it. It's worth it.
For this show. Yeah.
I know. I feel like that's the one show I'm always trying to convince everyone to watch it. No one ever watches it. I've tried to convince.
I'm surprised because I feel like it's a show that's pretty popular, right? Like in pop culture? No?
I don't know. I always am like, have you seen Fargo, to everyone, and no one, whenever anyone has, I get so excited. I'm like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
But
it's so fucking good.
I feel like most people haven't seen it. It's like got like a buzz. I feel like it's like one of those things where people are like, oh, I've been meaning to watch it or something like that. You know? But no one watches it. Like that Atlanta show, I feel like it's kind of like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's like a really good show that no one watches. The one I find someone that has, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I could see Atlanta being a show I would get into.
Yeah, it's really good. Watch that shit.
My show, just because I didn't want to pick Fargo, but was The Boys.
The Boys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I liked it, especially watching Fargo. This first season, there were parallels to like the main character in both of those.
For sure.
Like, I don't want to give too much away, but it's not quite a turn into evil. But yeah, there's like, I just hope that they actually keep renewing that show and they keep going, because it isn't one of those self-encapsulated seasons. They leave you on a like really pretty fucked up cliffhanger.
For sure.
So
are they making a season 2?
I hope so. Yeah.
I hadn't looked into that. I just assumed, because I felt like it had so much, like, people that watched it fucking loved it. I feel like those are the movies people should, like, I always think that like the TV shows or whatever that, well, not really movies, but the TV shows that they should keep doing are the movies where the amount of people that watch it might not be huge, but they are fucking like,
Die Hard,
that's the best shit.
Yeah.
Because what ends up happening is I feel like people come late to the show and they're like, oh, wow, that is amazing. And now I'm watching 8 seasons of this shit or whatever. And you're like, you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
We kept that bitch afloat.
Right, that's a good point. We spent we spent money on ads.
Exactly. But yeah. That was a good show.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like The Watchmen. Not the show, but just like the
movie?
Yeah, just where it's like ambiguous characters. Although they're a little bit more blatant about like who's good and who's evil in The Boys. But at the same time, it's like there are a lot of interesting things that happen in it.
Yeah. And there's like they show they make you think about like a real potential like scenarios where the commoditizing of superheroes in like a interesting way where you're like, oh yeah, that's totally what would happen.
Right. Yeah. Like that. Like the having to be on social media as a
or like you can totally imagine superheroes having like clothing fucking
PR agents and shit like that.
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah. I never thought about any of that shit, but they would just be celebrities with all their fuck ups and addictions. They just would have Yeah, it's an interesting point that they make. Yeah, good.
Right on.
Good choice.
All right. Oh, I got next worst movie. I got Velvet Buzzsaw.
Velvet Buzzsaw.
That shitty Jake Gyllenhaal movie with about art dealers. I don't know if you ever saw it.
Oh, I never saw it.
Good.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing the trailer to that and being like, "There's no way that's gonna be good."
Right.
You're right. Yeah, it was supposed to be like a horror film or some shit.
Yeah.
God, how did Jake sign up for that?
I don't know. God. I mean, he wasn't even good in it. Like, it was so bad it pulled him down.
God damn. That's horrible.
Yeah, it was like, oh, well, I guess, go ahead.
No, you can, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it was just, the source material was not interesting to me. Like, me even being an artist, but they like chose, like a section of the art world, which is like just very detestable. The whole like, New York, Manhattan gallery scene of just trendiness and social climbing and all that shit. And like, you would think that the angle they would take is something similar to like, well, let's just skewer this and do it in a interesting way via a horror movie. But like, I feel like the people who make this movie actually are really into all that stuff that happens. So like they end up kind of proving their own like the shittiness via like the thing. Like, even though they thought they were making a statement, they end up making the opposite statement through it.
But they do make a statement. They make a statement that's like, we're idiots.
Kind of, yeah.
We suck at this thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And they made it terribly acted and terribly just like written movie through it. So yeah.
Well, good. Good, because anytime I see a movie where it's like art related, I'm like, hopefully it sucks. God, they never get that shit right. Like, hopefully it sucks so much that they decide never to make another movie like
Seriously.
this again. Yeah. I feel like the one people enjoy in that kind of like art, like fictional art movie that talks about art, like in a kind of like satirical way, is that Art School Confidential or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that's like the one I think most people are like, that was funny and has some like really funny points.
Yeah, well, it was similar in that way to me, where like it kind of had a similar tone to Art School Confidential, Velvet Buzzsaw, and I actually really liked the beginning of Art School Confidential, where like they were actually like making fun of art in a smart way. Yeah, but then it takes a turn into like sort of this like whodunit kind of story. Then it just lost my interest from there.
Yeah. And not only that, but then I don't know. They make it seem like all art is that one note of brightness, and you're like, that's a part of the art world
Right.
that anyone that's probably not in it or they probably think is ridiculous as well.
Yeah.
You know, that,
I would think so. Yeah.
yeah, but whatever.
The thing is, yeah, you go into Velvet Buzzsaw, if you think that part of the art world is ridiculous, they're not changing your mind at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely never going to watch that movie.
No.
I had Aladdin.
Oh,
The movie was so fucking bad.
I bet.
It was literally just, you know, the movie Aladdin?
Sure. Yeah.
The cartoon?
Sure.
It was that.
Just
But with people.
with Will Smith being blue.
Yeah. Yeah. And Will Smith. It was, I mean, it was just them trying, it almost felt like shot for shot for the most, it was probably like 80% of the movie is just shot for shot the movie. The animated version of Aladdin. And you can't do that. I mean, goddamn, like it doesn't play out right. Like they're the shot for shot, word for word, 80% of the movie is probably that.
Wow.
It's like, why would I pay to watch a worse version of a fucking the original?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't. It was so bad.
Well, I heard that that's what they did with Lion King
It
too.
is.
But like, I don't know. Did at least Lion King had the visuals going for it?
Correct. I just had this conversation with MJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. Lion King was shot for shot, word for word, but at least you're like, whoa, that looks like a real fucking lion. It's almost like you could probably just turn the movie sound off and just enjoy
Yeah.
that.
It's like Animal Planet or whatever.
Aladdin doesn't have that though.
Yeah.
Aladdin, you couldn't turn the sound off. You couldn't turn, you just turn the movie off and, watch Midsummer or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, brutally bad. It's like one of those things where like the whole time you're just cringing. You're like, it's so bad.
Was it a movie you got roped into watching, or did you watch voluntarily at first?
I can't remember. I think because me and MJ, we both really liked like the original Aladdin,
Sure, yeah.
original Lion King. Like they held a really special part in our childhood minds.
For sure.
So I think we were like, let's check it out. I feel like it's like one of those things where you're like, we know this isn't going to be good, but we have to try. And then that happens. Then you're like, well, fuck, that sucked. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. All the fucking... It's weird because there's so many remakes, and now with like The Lion King and Aladdin, you're like, oh, you not only are you making remakes, you're just literally remaking the movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's almost like the creativity level is now like, we can't make an original film. Like we can't be making anything original. So you've already like cut off that fucking part of your creative brain for like most of these people. And now it's gone to like, I don't know, it's like a weird version of Idiocracy. It's like now remakes are so popular, just don't even write anything. So cut off like the writing part of your brain.
So now you're a cover director.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, you're a cover band for fucking Lion King.
Yeah.
God, it's so weird. It's like, I don't know what the fuck's next thing they're just gonna do is they're just gonna re-release the movie, but call it part 2. I don't know what the fuck I don't know how much dumber you can get than this. Than Aladdin and Lion King, at least the visuals, but still they fall in the same category. I have no idea who's running Disney. That little part of Disney, the remake, I don't know, whatever the fuck that is, but holy fuck, that guy needs to be, or girl, equality, needs to be fucking fired.
Right.
But yeah, so bad.
Yeah, that's one I'm pretty sure I'll never watch any of those live or quote unquote live action remakes.
Yeah, they might be the worst movies ever made. I know they had like that. What is it? That movie that James Franco remade. Everyone says like the worst movie.
I don't even know.
He made like a movie about them making the movie.
Oh, I don't know.
And it's supposed to be like a really bad movie, like The Room or something like that. Or I don't know.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The Room is supposed to be one of the worst movies ever.
Yeah. I feel like Aladdin's worse. You know
because there's not even like a ironic like.
Yeah, and there's not even like one
like,
guy with a ton of money who has no idea how to make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking Disney. You know, it's like, you guys have been making movies forever. You guys have a humongous budget. You guys have all the fucking skills you would ever want.
Right.
Throw at anything.
Exactly, yeah.
And you guys did this. It's fucking horrific. It might be the worst movie ever made. Worst. Yeah, so dumb.
It's an achievement.
It's like, how do we throw $100 million in a fucking fire?
Jeez, yeah.
I mean, they probably made money, to be honest.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Still.
Those things always make their money back.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it's easy shit to, like, plop your kid in front of.
Sure. I mean, someone was talking about how their kid fucking hated those movies.
Oh, really?
Good.
That's awesome.
Fucking garbage. All right.
So for these, I think we should go backwards order from what I have it. The last three.
You just set it up. All
right.
We'll knock it down.
All right. Best director.
Who you got?
I went with how do you say it? Boon Jong-ho.
Me too.
Yeah.
Another second one.
Yeah.
Boon Jong-ho. Bong Joon-ho.
I think
Whatever.
that's yeah. I'm sorry, Korea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
sorry for supporting you. Their choices.
Basically, yeah. All the reasons we've talked about, the direction of it, just all the thought that went into it, which like also, yeah, apparently they built the house for that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
that's
like,
cool.
Yeah. And like what you were saying, the way it was shot, like the tension was built a lot in just like how they staged everything in there. Mm-hmm. And just like those scenes where things have to go a certain way, mm-hmm. like they have to be shot a certain way, because if you don't, like it comes like too ridiculous, like it gets into like cartoony territory, mm-hmm. if you don't handle the tension right. So yeah, just all those things about it is just like, you need to be such a good director to pull that off.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, it was just so, I don't know, that movie, I just watched it and I keep thinking about it, and it keeps cooking in my brain about
for sure. Yeah.
the genius little tiny things
mm-hmm.
that make that movie. I don't know, just there's an aspect of the movie that has to deal with like the scent of a human being or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so like there's like these interesting things of like these really poor people who like instantly they visually change as a human being, right? Like they look very poor in their environment,
mm-hmm.
and then they have to play a role and they instantly just look different.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
They just feel not poor.
Right.
But there's like this dark, I don't know, joke
mm-hmm.
throughout the movie about scent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I don't know, it's just such a dark point they're making that's
mm-hmm.
so funny and sad, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing about the scent, it's true. Like that would feel correct in that situation.
What do you mean?
Oh, just about like if you come from a poor area, like
right.
Even if you like, I guess you would just have to be very careful.
But I think the point being made is more of like not necessarily a scent.
Yeah.
But more of like, no matter how hard you try.
Yeah.
This is who you are.
Yeah.
You know, like
exactly.
Yeah. It's like, it's so dark. And I think it's a big part of kind of how the story unfolds. I mean, it literally is a big part of
mm-hmm.
how the story unfolds,
mm-hmm.
but it's that like, it's more of like that point of not necessarily how rich people act based around this point, but more of how the let's say the lower class people, the realization of this, how it fucks you mentally or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
God, I'm trying to really tiptoe around this shit.
Yeah, I know. It's so hard.
But yeah, I think it's just there's so many like the characters in the fucking movie are so well done. They all play such an important role in the way the story unfolds. The way it's shot, everything about it is just so like the table in the living room and how they kind of end up using it and how it makes sense throughout how they used it in the movie.
Yeah,
things like this is like there's so much thought to detail and how it applies to the story and how it just feels effortless, but you know how much effort went into that, you know, unfolding the way it did. It's just fucking amazing.
Yeah, there were a couple of things that like Vanessa and I were talking about because she saw it on recommendation of a friend of hers who's lived in Korea, and like she was like, that person was like, "Oh, you gotta watch this movie. It's like so amazing." So I guess there's like an extra layer if you're South Korean that is like under it. That like I feel like they did a good job of explaining or like depicting the culture of South Korea in the movie, just because it's like, well, you can apply this to any culture, even though there are probably other things in it that, God, I'm trying to remember exactly what Vanessa pointed out to me, but there were like certain things, like I guess certain phrases or things that they use that were actually a thing that, like if you're a South Korean, you're like, okay, that means, like, this is more of a higher class thing to do or a lower class thing to do.
Right.
That like wouldn't go, that would probably go over the heads of the average like American watching it. So like there's even that extra part of it.
Yeah. Maybe like when the father asks when he's driving and he asks like, "Do you love her?" or something like that.
Oh,
that seemed like super inappropriate.
Yeah.
It seemed like a normal thing.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, I know. I remember that's been on my queue for a long time too. I think I first heard about it from Bobby Lee's podcast.
Oh,
and you know he's Korean, so he was like he's probably in on that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's he's been talking about that movie for a long time, and I'm like,
because it came out like pretty long time ago at this point. It stayed in the theaters, which is like pretty a testament to the
for sure.
to the movie, and then now they re-release these movies because they're Oscar winners, and it's like record-setting numbers for like a foreign language film.
Good for them.
Yeah. Fuck
yeah. Yeah, especially if it's done that well. He's like, good job.
Yeah.
If a story's good, a story's good. You know, that's all that fucking matters. Doesn't matter what language it's spoken, except for it takes me forever to watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
But still, yeah.
Yeah, like I would hate to try and watch that if it was dubbed.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
I know. Yeah, I don't even know if you could.
Yeah. I don't know if it's possible. It'd be such a downgrade, I think.
Yeah. Although I do love me some Kung Fu Hustle. It's weird. You ever watch Netflix? They have like dubbed movies.
Oh, I mean, I've seen them that show up, but I don't watch them.
Yeah, I've never watched them, but I accidentally started watching one. I was like, oh, this movie looks interesting. And I wasn't paying attention to like the lips moving. Or no, I think they hid it well. Like
really?
It wasn't obvious it was dubbed. So then I pushed play and then I'm like watching it and I'm like, what's going on with their lips?
That's hilarious.
It was like, oh, motherfucker. They got me because it's like, I think it was like European or some shit.
Oh, okay.
So they're all like just white people.
Right.
And you're like, wait a second.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Fucking. I hate dub movies. I was like, all right, well, I can't watch this now.
All right. Next is best performance by an actor and an actress.
Let's hear it.
So actor, Joaquin Phoenix and Joker.
Oh, I didn't pick an actress. Okay, go
I got, for actress, I picked Lupita Nyong'o for Us.
For Us? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, those are my two.
I didn't realize I just picked actor.
Okay.
Because you
and
know
you
what I mean?
picked a female. So that's, you got it.
Yeah, then I picked, and then I picked, I picked Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, okay. That's a good choice.
For Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is
Hell yeah.
Leonardo's fourth time being nominated.
Yeah, exactly.
He has won this award.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really liked his performance.
Yeah, it was great.
I thought it was one of those things where I usually hate when Hollywood portrays Hollywood. It's just like a bit of like a pat you on the back kind of thing.
For sure.
But I thought this one was...
and Hollywood loves to give those awards to those movies too.
Yeah. But I thought this one was, first of all, it was making fun of that person.
Yeah.
Rather than like being like, we have a hard job and we're hella cool and stuff.
Right.
It was more like he's the butt of the joke pretty much.
Yeah.
For a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it. And
I mean, he's the one who eats the most shit. Yeah, for sure.
And just the time when he's on the set with that young girl, like that segment of the movie, I just fucking
I love that.
love. And his acting in that, I think, is so fucking interesting because he has to play so many different things at once.
Yeah, the depth of what he has to do. Because he's Leonardo DiCaprio and he's playing a washed up actor.
Right.
So he has to act like a kind of a B movie actor.
Right. While at the same time nailing it.
Right.
Right. Nailing the scene. But like the tension he has because he knows he has to nail it.
Right.
And then the relief from like the girl at the end, and then the emotions that like stream through him because of that.
Yeah.
It's like all of the spectrum of emotions, and then how bottled it has to feel, like how much it has to feel internal to the character. Like he's just fighting all of his fears at once while trying to nail this shot. And I don't know, it just sticks with me as like a really, really good performance. Like sometimes it's like, what's the lady that's in, the fuck's her name? She's like a she's a black lady from a lot of shit. She's a beast of an actress.
Are you talking about what's her name? Is it Olivia something? Octavia Spencer? Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, she's a little bit older. Yeah.
I remember I watched her in like the first movie Denzel directed.
Okay, sure.
I forget what it's called, but she plays like a druggy mom, and she just did like a single tear down the face, which I'm a fan of the single tear down face.
Speaking of Denzel, the pioneer.
Exactly. The pioneer?
I don't know, maybe. From Glory.
Yeah. I thought you were quoting the movie. Yeah.
Oh, no,
exactly.
No.
Yeah, exactly. From the movie Glory, that fucking single tear. And that was funny because when I watched it, I was like, fuck, she pulled off the Denzel tear. And she just, it's like that ability to, the reason I like the single tears, I feel like it's like this idea of like you're trying your hardest not to cry, but you cry.
Yeah.
Like that's what sometimes the single tear sucks ass because you could tell that the actor's trying their hardest to cry and all they can get out is a single tear. You're like, you fucking suck. But it's like if you're seen as you trying to hold back the emotion and then a single tear is just like all you're letting out because you're fighting that ability to say that is like fucking masterful to me. And I think in Leonardo DiCaprio and this, he does so much of like trying his hardest to hold in his composure, but just not having the ability to do so. And he does it so it just reads so well to me. It reads exactly how it's supposed to read, and especially in like the Quentin Tarantino world where everything's exaggerated.
Right.
it's that perfect amount of he's exaggerated, but it works so well. I don't know. I think it's a tough thing to ask an actor to do. We're like Joaquin Phoenix. I feel like it's almost more straightforward in how he's supposed to be. He nails it. It's perfect. He has to go to a dark place, but I don't know. It just doesn't put me like it does. I'm not as impressed by it, let's say.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm still,
fair.
He's still a beast, and I'm still impressed.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's why I picked Leonardo DiCaprio. If
Nice.
I had to pick a girl, I look at my fucking movies.
Did you watch Us, by the way?
I did. I wasn't the biggest fan.
I liked that movie. I actually really liked it. I mean, I could get why people don't like it as much, but I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed like a lot of the symbolism and all that in it. Like, but yeah, I mean, I just think that I liked the characters in it, but she definitely was like the star of that the show.
She's a beast of an actress,
right?
Too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, playing like different roles in the same movie kind of is always like a thing that's impressive.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But yeah, just that was just like the movie that stood out to me as like a performance by an actress. So
yeah, I have none of my movies have a good female actress. Yeah, the only one that looks like shots fired. It would apply is like Midsommar.
Like yeah, I consider that one. She's probably my runner-up.
Yeah, she killed it in that role for sure. I mean, even yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird because it's like I have to like separate the movie from the because in the movie Us, she's a beast in that. Like there are like how she holds terror in her face is fucking amazing.
That's true. Yeah.
And then the fucking creepy version of her is extremely creepy. Like she nailed that shit. Yeah. You might have a point. You might convince me. Yeah, she might be the. Yeah, I would have to think about Midsommar's performance as well. That would be the only other one I could think of off the top of my head. I would have to. Yeah, I can't think of anyone else.
Yeah, those were the two that stood out to me for sure.
Yeah.
I could. Yeah.
Who won it for like the actual Oscars? Do you know?
Oh, it was Renee Zellweger for Judy Garland, that movie.
I never watched that movie.
Yeah,
I heard it was good, but I don't really like biopics that much.
Right.
Shit's always like, I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be like, who the fuck is telling the story? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
How true is this fucking thing? I don't know. I mean, although, I don't know if you know this, but Muhammad Ali was actually Will Smith.
Oh, shit.
In real life, yeah. In a time machine.
Damn. Truth bomb.
And Ray could hear hummingbirds outside.
Yeah. All right. Our final category. Best movie. I got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Me too.
Oh, shit.
Shit. We won.
We won.
3 for 3. 3 for 12.
Yeah, that one, it was tough for me, like, picking between Parasite and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think it just came to me, I just enjoyed the experience of watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood more.
Yeah, plus there's no reading. So my dyslexic ass
yeah, that's right.
Could just sit and enjoy it.
That was a movie that definitely grew on me. Like, the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, that was decent. But like, there were a lot of things where I was like, I need to watch that again. Like, there's so many scenes that was just like, I think I went into it kind of with the wrong like expectations for it. It's like, if you look at it, every scene as like little vignettes, like there's enough of a story to carry it along, but it's really like, it's kind of like what Tarantino does best is like doing those little scenes that are self-encapsulating, and there's so many little things in it. So once you have seen it once, you can go back and enjoy every scene for what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and just the whole of it, like put together, all the parts of it are just really enjoyable to me in
It's
that
also
way.
kind of just like the title of the movie is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of is that. It's like these exaggerated versions of stories that people tell in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, blah blah beat blah Bruce Lee's ass, or like oh, I went up to Charles Manson's fucking ranch back before all that shit happened.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like all of these like little things where it's like, is that true or not true? Like, how much of this shit is real? How much of this shit is full on bullshit? Because we live in this world where everyone's one-upping each other on stories and shit.
Yeah, it's like, you hear that stunt man that beat up Bruce Lee? Like that kind of shit, yeah.
Exactly. And there's like this this story that gets repeated through Hollywood or whatever. And you know, and he it's like an acknowledgement of that and the ability to tell a bullshit story, and then at the end he kind of adds to it with his own bullshit story.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That, I don't know. It's just I think I've only watched the movie once, and I was
okay.
I just remember me and MJ, we watched it in the movie theater, and we left and we're like, MJ had no clue. I had like some clue of what was happening. MJ's a big true crime fan. Midway through the movie, she's like, holy, is this?
Oh.
And I was like, you didn't know?
Yeah.
But
like, you hear Sharon Tate, you would think, okay, you know, where's this going?
Right. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a really fucking good movie.
I agree.
The storyline isn't a clear cut thing. It's just, but I don't know. I just really liked. I like the two the two characters, kind of Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, and their
dynamic.
relationship.
Yeah, it's great.
And you know, and listening to Quentin Tarantino talk about that movie afterwards, it's just like, it's such a cool, like, how I can't remember who. I think it might have been like Kirk Douglas or one of those guys who like, he witnessed kind of that relationship, and that's how it kickstarted the movie. He just wanted to write that dynamic, the stuntman and and the actor, who are really good friends, who are growing apart based off of age or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I think he nailed it. There's like I don't know. The older I get, the more I like appreciate guy friendships. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate, like, I'll watch like TikTok videos, shout out to TikTok. And there'll be like guys doing the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
true, yeah.
guys will be around him and they're all like super happy for him and cheering him on as he does like the stupidest shit. And I'm just like, I love that. That's like the dynamic. Like they're all cheering him on. They're all happy for him. And if he succeeds at,
kicking a bottle cap off of the
off of the friend's fucking, penis or whatever.
I was thinking of that stupid water bottle challenge.
But it's also like, I don't know, there's even dumber things than that.
Yeah. Oh,
like
for
a
sure,
guy,
yeah.
like, I don't know, giving himself a wedgie till he rips his underwear off or something. Like that. You know what I mean? And then everyone cheers him on as like fucking pumped for him.
Yeah.
There's something about that that dynamic of like, that for some reason, everyone's so happy for him in his friendship group and they cheer him on. That, to me, that's like I kind of feel sad that women don't have that. You know what I mean? It's
sure.
First of all, they're never going to do that because everyone's going to be like, that's dumb. Don't do that.
Right.
Where guys are like, do that shit. You've got it, man. And cheer them on. It's like, but going back to the movie, it's like that weird, like that bond they have of like, where they kind of like support each other through like the dumb act of being an actor. You know what I mean? And like,
right.
I don't know. I just really appreciate it. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah, the only other thing I wanted to say about the movie was the first time I watched it, I thought it was maybe a little too long, but then second watch, I was like, no, the pacing is actually perfect when you watch it like in the right way. Like it actually flies by when you know what's happening. Like, yeah, I just thought, I was like really wrong about it the first time.
I rarely get the too long movie vibe from movies, except for Irishman, which only because of how distracting it was. I could never get lost in the movie. That's the thing. It's like, you know what I mean? Like if you have me like really into the movie, then I'm like, I don't give a fuck. 3 hours, I'm fine with it. I mean, most of Scorsese movies are long.
Right. Yeah.
And I usually never mind them at all.
Yeah.
This one specifically was just, it just failed to me. It was just like not working at all. And so that's when I'm like, God damn, how long is it going to take? And I think that's really, everyone's like, I liked it, but the fucking pacing, I'm like, yeah, I feel like if the pacing's what you're fucking mad at, that means that they probably failed at that shit.
Yeah.
Because.
Oh, for sure.
Because you weren't stuck in that shit. I mean,
yeah, I watched it in 3 parts, so that wasn't like a thing that bothered me as much.
What, The Irishman?
Yeah, the pacing of it.
Yeah,
like if I tried to actually watch it in 3.5 hours, that's brutal.
That's what I feel like everyone took a break. Everyone had an intermission on the fucking Irishman. It's like, God damn, maybe chill, Scorsese. I mean, yeah. God, you're great.
Yeah,
director. Be fine.
Get a new editor.
Yeah, or just be okay. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Stop trying to like. I don't know. I think. I don't know. But this one, it was like, God damn it! I think you somehow. I don't know. Might be getting to the point where you're trying to be a bit preachy about the thing you love the most.
I see.
You know what I mean? Like you're trying to, I don't know, take us to church with this fucking movie.
I see. Yeah.
Rather than just make a good fucking movie. I don't know. And it's like, I get it. You love film. You love fucking great movies.
Yeah.
But this wasn't it for me.
Right. All right.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I should have put fucking Irishman because I obviously, rather than Aladdin, but no, Aladdin was way worse than Irishman.
I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was the most overhyped.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, shit, that was 2 hours.
Fuck yeah, look at that. Randy one.
Yeah, where's the
You know, we should have done. We should have done like, well, thank you guys for. I would like to thank you guys, and then you just start playing us out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can I just finish?
Yeah.
Trump. He's bad. God. I was wondering how that, like actors, you know, they like, I feel like there's got to be a large percentage of them, and actresses, you know, equal rights and all that.
Yeah,
there's got to be a large percent of them that have huge egos. So I wonder how it feels when you have that huge ego and you're trying to talk and people are like, shut the fuck up. Like, play the instruments and
seriously,
kick them off. It must be such a weird shock to their system of like, wait, what? People want to hear me talk all the time.
Well, from what I was able to like infer from like the Oscar thing, they let Joaquin Phoenix ramble for a while up there.
Oh, did they?
I guess. Like, I didn't like watch the actual award show. I just like heard people like play his speech and make fun of it and stuff. But it seemed like they definitely let actors, like the best actors and actresses, like go on for a little bit longer.
Probably, especially Joaquin Phoenix. I feel like he probably was like, if I win, I won't be there unless you let me talk. I mean, because at the Golden Globes, he was like, I won't go unless everyone eats vegan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, best comedy, another honorable mention could be Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes. Yeah, fucking murdered that. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. He obviously is like pushing some weight around that boy.
For sure.
Which definitely doesn't make me like him anymore. I'll say that much. But yeah, I don't know. Fuck. It's one of those things. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. They could have their opinions and they could fucking say it all they want, but fucking award shows suck anyways. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Except for this one, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, quick question before we end this bitch. What do you think about that idea of actor-actress award? Do you think it's... I always wonder about that. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, aren't like actor and actress, I always think that it should just be one. Like, I don't know why there's a separation.
I don't mind it. I think it's more just like, I think it, to me, like the separation of it, like just gives more opportunity to award different people for different types of roles.
Sure, but I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, I don't think there's an advantage to being a guy or a girl in that role, in that position, right?
Yeah. No.
Like, it's not like sports or something, you know, like where there's like, you know, an obvious height advantage in basketball or some shit like that. I don't know.
Sure.
But I don't know, because I don't know. To me, it's like, I always think like by separating it, I don't think of them the same in a weird way, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like whoever acted the best. I mean, like, there's no like advantage to being a guy and being able to cry or some shit.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, to me, it's just more of a thing where it just gives different opportunities to give an award for like different roles. I don't know. I
just think if that's the case, then just make more genres.
Yeah, I mean, I think
best
they should.
Actor in a drama. But they already have that shit, don't they? Best actor in a best.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what it ends up being.
They should just have best actor in a drama, best actor in a fucking comedy, best actor in a blah blah blah, in a horror or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
And no, I don't know. I don't see the importance of separating. I mean, I don't know if people are going to take this as me being some kind of like, don't let women have their award or some shit. But I think it's like the opposite. Yeah. It's like they're just as good as the fucking men. You know, I mean, sometimes they're better than some men and sometimes they're worse depending on the act. Like what was the lady I was talking about? Oh,
Octavia Spencer.
Is that her? Now I gotta look it up. Who's Viola Davis?
Well, she's in a lot of similar movies too. You might be thinking of her.
Viola Davis. Yeah, that's actually who I'm thinking
of. Oh, okay.
I don't know how I pulled that name out of my ass.
Seriously.
Yeah, that was a single tier lady.
But this is Octavia Spencer. I'm sure you've seen her before.
No, I'm talking about Viola Davis. Who's like fucking beast of an actress. She
is. Yeah, for sure.
But like when I think of like actors and actresses, there's like, I feel like there's like 10 like that are like the fucking cream of the crop, and it has nothing to do with men or female. It's like it's like these people are the beast of acting, and then everyone's a notch below, you know, or creeping up or whatever. But I don't think of it as like man or woman. I just think of it like Viola Davis. I feel like she could like stand up to any fucking actor or actress out there and fucking take the scene from them depending on the scene. And act her ass off better than most, or better than almost all.
Yeah, I think for me, at least how I see it, is like when you get to that level of acting, like they're probably like objectively all just as good as each other. It just depends on like the role they're given to be able to give that. So with more roles, I mean, I guess, that's just how they decided to separate the two. But yeah, it totally makes as much sense to me to do like give awards based on the genre as well. Not necessarily like by gender.
I don't know.
But I don't care enough.
Me neither. I'm just curious.
It's
also like I don't know. Whatever. It just seems like in art, in art, I think in general, I mean, maybe the argument is opportunity, I guess, would be like the biggest, I feel like argument for that, for like the separation is there is equal amount of opportunity for a woman leading role as there a man leading role. But I mean, I think that applies to like director as well. Like there's less female directors and male directors, but then do you have like a female category? But in a way, I feel like it almost seems like you're giving them a secondary award. Do you know what I mean? Like it's almost like, oh, you weren't able to play with the boys, so you have to have your own award. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of how it feels like to me. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to think of that because that would feel the same way for me if you separated any other category based on gender, like best female director,
right?
Versus like best female cinematographer, for example. Right. But for some reason, actor and actress seem like enough of a plausible sort of like category of their own. I don't know.
I don't know either. I was just curious. I have no fucking dog in the race, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those weird things where I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I just always like randomly think about it whenever I think about award show, like winners. I'm like, why is it guy and girl? Why isn't it just actor? Like they're actors, right? Like even like, I think they don't even try to use actress anymore in like Hollywood.
Yeah, they don't.
They just try to say like, I'm an actor. Like, it's not a fucking actor-actress.
Right.
And I agree with that. It's like, yeah, it's like in our world, right? We wouldn't go like man painter, woman painter. Like, like, oh, best man painter is this, best woman painter is that.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's like, no, who's the fucking best at doing this thing? Like, no one cares about what's between your legs at the end of the day. I mean, some people might, but they're boring people. It's like, whose work is the best?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference to how well you paint.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
So there's our little bit of art talk.
Paint. Yeah, I don't know. That's just how I mean, right. Does it make sense when I compare it to a painter?
Yeah.
I feel like when you compare it to any other art form, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, I mean, I don't know.
I guess the only difference for me is like the roles are different where like it's usually necessary to have, well, no, maybe not, but I mean, just in general, like the role an actor versus an actress plays in a movie is typically different.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, that's almost the same as like giving supporting actor versus like main actor.
So what about when what's her name won for Boys Don't Cry? She won Best Actor.
Sure, why not?
Playing the male role.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever.
Yeah,
because I don't know. I mean, the role is just put. I mean, every role is different. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. Just because it's a male playing I don't know if I'm sounding hella woke right now or not. I don't, or the opposite. I honestly have no clue what people are perceiving by this. Like either like this fucking woke person or this fucking.
I'm probably sounding less woke than you right now.
Right winger or whatever. I don't know what the fuck I sound like, but I'm just. I don't know. It seems weird to me. It seems weird to me to like separate the two. It's like, they're doing the same thing. I don't know if there's a difference in skill that needs to be had to do this job. Like anyone, there's no advantage one over the other. So I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. It's
also like a subjective art thing. So it's
right. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's really what,
it's all pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is what it is. You ever seen the thing where Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes, like a couple years back, he's like, yeah, we all know this is bullshit that the fucking people already paid for their award.
Right.
So just like sit here and shut up or something like that. And then they cut to Harvey Weinstein, or Harvey, who's the rapist dude?
Harvey Weinstein, yeah.
Harvey Weinstein, yeah. And they're like, and he's just laughing super hard. You're like,
oh, shit.
Like, wow, that fucking clip aged weird.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, we did it.
We did it.
Sorry, guys, for the long acceptance speech.
Yeah. This is Joshua Lawyer's second nomination.
How does the Golden Globes end, or how do the Oscars end? They just go, thank you, bye.
Pretty much, yeah.
Really? I never thought about that part. No one usually makes it to the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it kind of ends after the best
picture.
Yeah. And then they just play, I forget, they say, they give their thanks or whatever, like the announcer, like the thanks for watching kind of thing. And then it just lights start to go down and the band plays on.
Who was the host of the Oscars this year, by the way?
I think they didn't do a host this year.
What?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
I think they're doing that more often now. Because wasn't it the whole Kevin Hart controversy?
Yeah.
So.
Where he was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I watched that documentary. Kevin Hart one.
Didn't win an award this year.
But yeah. All right. Well, this was what do we call it?
The Wacademy Awards.
The Wacademy Awards. Thank you for listening. If you're still listening, I don't know, fuck off.
23 skidoo.
What?